Hello everyone, welcome back to Garden Fever. This is Corey LaFever. I'm coming to you from northern Utah, and we have another episode today. Today we're going to be doing it on the Horehound. A lot of you know this plant from their cough drops in their Horehound candy, especially back in the early 1900s. It was really popular. It's not so much today as it was back then, but I'm in a loud part of my yard, so I'm going to try and talk loud. I've had some comments that I'm hard to hear and my sound quality ain't too good, so I'm going to work on that. But anyway, this is the Horehound right here. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see it. And it's a member of the mint family. It's got a square stem, which is a telltale sign of the mints, is when you get a square stem. So if I were to cut off some of these and look at it, it would be square. It originated in the Mediterranean, first popular in Europe more than anywhere else, but it has since spread to the North and South Americas and all over Europe and Asia and places like that. So it's a particularly good herb to grow because it is notorious for aiding colds. It's not very... It doesn't have a great aroma like a lot of the other mints do, which is kind of strange because most mints have a strong flavor, if you will, or flavor and smell. But this one is kind of mild. In fact, it's a Marbium vulgare is the correct name, which is Hebrew for bitter common. So it has some bitterness and it's pretty common. It grows, it's very evasive, it grows very easily, and when it does grow, it can spread quite easily because it has, let me show you here if we can get it to focus, but when it flowers, it has these burr-like clusters that hook onto fur and your socks and everything, so it's easily spread. However, the seeds don't germinate too tremendously well. They do spread very easily like most mints, so I prefer to grow them in a container like I got here. I got them inside a cement block, but even that they can easily spread, so it is one of the ones that you would most likely want to grow in a container, or if you don't mind it spreading, that's fine, but just keep in mind that it is very invasive. It has A, B, C, E vitamins in it, iron. It's known for reducing congestion and mucus in colds. It even has a mild pain reliever in it, so you can, when I say that, I don't mean like it's going to numb your pain, but there is a slight pain reliever inside of it, so that when you make cough drops out of them, it'll soothe your throat, it'll ease congestion. And this has been done, I mean, you can buy Horehound cough drops, Horehound candy in all of the stores. There's plenty of stuff online. And like I said, I'm not here to do recipes, but basically from what it is you pick all the leaves and stuff out of it, and you boil it in water and let it kind of create a tea with it, and then you strain that out into a mixture of like sugar and honeys and butter, and you make like you caramelize it in a way, and then put it on like a wax paper, little drops. And when it cools enough to be malleable but not hard, you roll it into little balls, and you either put powdered sugar on it, or if you're doing a cough syrup, a little bit of honey, and that's how you prepare them basically. Do keep in mind though, in the research that I've done with this plant, when you add a lot of sugars, it does kind of negate some of the health benefits. So if you're doing it for colds, you want to do it less of the sugars. A lot of people put a lot of sugars because it's kind of like a neutral tasting and a neutral smelling thing. There isn't a whole lot of flavor, so, and it can be a little bitter, so a lot of people put a lot of sugars and stuff to kind of sweeten it up. But if you're doing it to be as a decongestant, or to reduce mucus or sore throat, you're going to want to use less sugars and less honeys to have a better effect. So I have learned that. But anyway, that's Horehound. It's a nice little herb. It's easy to grow. Obviously it likes compost rich, loose soil. It'll thrive in that. But you don't really have to. It's one of these that you know, like most mints, where you can just kind of, once it's established, it's relatively easy to grow. It can take little care, and you can neglect it, and it'll still do fine. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments, or if you know something about Horehound that I didn't reveal in the video, please share in the comments. Knowledge is power. I'll get some fair use pictures so you can get some better quality pictures than what I've got here. And we're coming out of winter, so it's just barely starting to kind of that's fuzzy, to come around. So I don't have a huge example. I don't have a whole lot of it growing in my yard, but considering we're just barely coming out of winter, that's a pretty good bloom for that small little brick that I got going on. So I'm pretty happy about that. But anyway, this is Corey Lefevre. Like, share, subscribe. Until next video.